Level 1. The favor. Your entire criminal career takes 11 seconds, and you're not even there when it happens. You're 19, running a pallet jack on the night shift at Lanford Distribution for $12.75 an hour. It is honest work. You have done the math on honest work. You do math the way other people bite their nails. And honest comes up $412 short every month. Home is a 2-bedroom where the rent is $1,050 and the arrears are $1,900 with late fees. And the eviction court date hangs on the refrigerator under a pineapple magnet. Your mother is a home health aide. $11.40 an hour. Double shifts, home at midnight smelling of other people's houses, hands cracked from lifting strangers' mothers in and out of bathtubs. Your little brother Eli is 9. He sleeps on the bottom bunk and keeps his report cards in a shoebox like they're worth money. In this apartment, they are the only thing that might be. On the first of the month, she lays the bills across the kitchen table and moves money between envelopes like a general moving troops she does not have. You started checking her arithmetic at 11. It was always right. That was never the problem. Your cousin Dre is 26 and drives a Charger that no job explains. He never asks you to steal. He asks what time the dock cameras sweep and whether Gate 4 latches itself or needs a hand. Then he says the sentence that will cost you your 20s. You don't take anything. You don't touch anything. You just get forgetful with one latch. $2,500. The eviction is $1,900. You would like to tell yourself you agonized. The math did the agonizing years ago. All you do is nod. On a Thursday at 11:40 p.m., you thumb the latch on Gate 4 and keep walking. 11 seconds, at 2:40 a.m., a box truck backs in quiet and leaves with roughly $70,000 in flat screens. And you are home asleep, the door money folded under your mattress. You pay the rent in money orders, 89 cents apiece, while the clerk counts your cash without looking up. The landlord signs. Your mother sleeps through a whole night for the first time in a year. For 12 days, you are a genius. You buy Eli sneakers that fit and a backpack with both zippers working. You fill a grocery cart with name brands and do no math at the shelf. You tell your mother the warehouse approved overtime. She believes you. You had never given her a reason not to. Now she has one and doesn't know it. On day 13, a man named Twist gets pulled over 2 counties east with a busted brake light, an open warrant, and one of the televisions still in his back seat. A serial number that remembers where it lived. Twist starts naming names before the handcuffs warm up. Loyalty is a luxury good. Twist shops discount. They pull the badge records. Gate 4, 11:41 p.m., your employee number. They pull the parking lot camera. Dre's Charger, twice. The knock comes at 6 in the morning. Polite as an alarm clock. Your mother answers it in her work shoes. Eli watches from the hallway, holding his shoebox against his chest like it can vouch for somebody. You held a door open for 11 seconds. The state is about to hold one open for you. Level 2. The price. The first thing you learn inside the building is that everything in it has a price, and the menu starts at the door. Bail. $25,000, set in 9 seconds by a judge reading your name off a screen. A bondsman will post it for 10%, non-refundable, $2,500, the same number. The system has a sense of humor. Nobody who works in it laughs. Your mother gets to $900. The tax refund, a church envelope, her bracelet, before you tell her to stop. You say it through the phone with your voice held level. It is the first grown decision of your life, and you make it in a county jumpsuit. So you wait inside, unconvicted, 7 months. Innocent until proven guilty turns out to be a schedule, not a shield. You lose the job in week 1. The same warehouse pressing the charges mails your last check. And by month 2, the rent problem you committed a felony to solve is back, hungrier, and hunting a household missing its second income. County has its own economy, meaner than anything upstate. Honey buns at $2.40. Collect calls at $1 a minute. Your mother rides 2 buses and waits 90 minutes to see you for 30 and puts $40 a month on your books from the envelopes. And you eat the shame with the honey bun because calories are calories. Your lawyer is a decent man carrying 131 open cases. You receive 11 minutes of his attention, 9 of them about the offer. Plead to burglary and conspiracy. 6 years, parole possible around 4. Go to trial and the co-defendant testifies, and burglary becomes a career. 12 years, maybe 15. They call the plea a discount, and you worked in a warehouse, so you understand it instantly. Discounts exist to move volume. Today, the volume is you. What would you do? You ask him. He looks at you longer than the 11 minutes allow. I'd take it, he says, not because you'd lose, because you can't afford to find out whether you'd win. There is always paperwork after that. Fines, fees, court costs, restitution, $3,180, payable upon release, interest applicable. Read that twice. You will leave prison in debt to the building that sent you there. Your signature is the cheapest thing in the courtroom, and it buys the most. Everyone's math prints differently. Twist, who talked first, walks with probation, because the first man to talk always buys the cheapest ticket. Dre, with 2 priors, takes 9 years and does not look at you at arraignment, which is a sentence of its own. You get 6 for 11 seconds. Nobody in that room calls it a market. You watch it clear like one anyway. Your mother sits in the second row in her church coat. The judge takes 94 seconds. On visiting day, Eli presses his palm against the glass and asks when you're coming home. And you say, before you're in high school. And then you watch a 4th grader do that arithmetic on his fingers. And you understand for the first time that a sentence is never served by one person. They just put one name on it. Level 3, 30 cents. You stop being a name on a Tuesday. Intake issues you a number instead. 6 digits you memorize faster than anything in your life because the days are built so you need it more than your name. Then they put you to work, and the figure that matters most arrives on your first payslip. 30 cents an hour. Kitchen detail, 4:45 a.m. Steam and steel. A month of it comes to about $26. And the commissary list is laminated and waiting. Ramen, 89 cents. A quarter at the corner store back home. Deodorant, $4.15. A jar of peanut butter, half a week's wages. Somewhere, a man in a suit calculated the exact markup a captive market will bear. And here it is, taped to a cinder-block wall. The phone costs $3.15 for 15 minutes, so 1 call home a week is half your paycheck. Your mother mails you $50 a month she does not have, and you do the conversion you cannot stop doing. 4.5 hours of lifting strangers out of bathtubs. You start calling every other week and blame the phone lines. She knows. You know she knows. You both keep the lie because it is load-bearing. There is credit in here too. 2 for 3. Borrow 2 soups today. Owe 3 on store day, 50% a week. You work out the annual rate on the back of a request slip and laugh out loud in the dark. There are men in this building doing less time for charging less. The bunk under yours belongs to Wendell, 61 years old, reading glasses mended with tape, a general contractor doing 8 for fraud, 14 kitchen deposits, 0 kitchens. He keeps ledgers for half the tier and has never once been short. He trusts paper more than people, because people are what he went to prison for. Wendell teaches on golf pencils in the backs of request slips. Every job on earth is 4 numbers, he says. Labor, materials, overhead, profit. Most men can only see the sweat, so they price the sweat and hand the other 3 away for free. Prices are opinions. Costs are facts. Never confuse which one you're looking at. He has one commandment, penciled inside every ledger he keeps. Write it down. Every number, every day, no matter how small. The numbers you don't write down, he says, are the ones that kill you. You will keep books in pencil for the rest of your life. On the word of a man doing 8 years for keeping 2 sets. By winter's end, he has you bidding imaginary jobs. Haul out a garage, strip a floor, gut a kitchen. And when your numbers land inside his, he raises one eyebrow like a flag. Where were you when I had a business? Year 2, you moved to maintenance. Floors, drains, deadbolts, broken chairs. Everything broken, you learn, is a line item to somebody, and the man who can price it owns the conversation. And it is Wendell, over cards, who hands you the sentence that will pay for everything. When you get out, nobody is going to hire you. That's not cruelty, it's policy. Insurance, liability. A box on a form. So you'll go work for the one employer in America who doesn't run a background check. Who's that? Yourself. Your date comes before his. Total wages for 3.5 years of labor, $1,140. You have finally found the only employer in America that pays worse than crime. You run the other ledger too, the one with no $sign. 4 years is 1,460 days. Eli goes from 9 to 13 inside of them. Your mother's hands get 4 years older, lifting 4 years of strangers. The state calls this paying your debt to society. You notice society never mailed an invoice to the man who bought the televisions. His kind never gets one. At the door, Wendell gives you a golf pencil, brand new, unsharpened. Mail me your first invoice, he says. Level 4. The box. They release you in February, 23 years old, into the clothes you were arrested in. The jeans still fit. The shoulders don't. You went in a boy, and the shoulders are the only part of you that got promoted. Everything you own leaves in one clear plastic bag. Letters, photographs, the pencil. Gate money is $40, loaded onto a prepaid card that charges $2.50 to activate and $1.50 a month to exist. Your first $40 of freedom, and there is already a bank inside it, eating. Nobody's at the gate. Your mother's shift started at 6. Freedom scheduled itself for a Tuesday morning, and she could not afford to attend. You stand there understanding it completely. Understanding it is worse. The bus home costs $2.75. Eli answers the door taller than you left him. You went in with a flip phone, and the future happened without you. Parole is Ms. Greer, 94 files on her desk. 12 minutes for yours. Your freedom comes itemized. $35 a month in supervision fees. $15 per drug test, and you pay. Curfew at 9. Do not leave the county. No contact with felons, which outlaws your cousin and mathematically a third of the men on your block. Your court debt has grown to $3,700 with interest, and the state has suspended your driver's license for non-payment. Sit inside that machine. You owe money because you went to prison, and you cannot drive because you owe money. And nearly every job that could pay it sits 2 bus transfers away. Then there is the box. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? A 1/4-inch square on every application in America. You check it because parole checks whether you lie, and you learn what a 1/4-inch of ink weighs. 61 applications in 90 days. 2 interviews go beautifully. The muffler shop manager works the floor with you for 20 minutes, shakes your hand twice, says Thursday. Thursday never calls. When you come back, he stays behind the glass of his little office and raises one hand, sorry-shaped, and you nod, because you both know it was not him who decided. It was the square. Some rejections arrive by email at 3 a.m., which is how you learn a computer did the reading. Most never arrive at all. You keep a tally on a takeout menu because Wendell's voice will not let you skip it. 61 applied, 2 interviews, 0 offers. Write it down, even when it is 0. Especially when it is 0. The building your mother rents in has rules about people like you, which means your name cannot legally sleep at your own mother's address past 14 nights, which means you are technically homeless on the couch you grew up next to. What is left is the day labor line at 4:50 a.m. $58 a day, minus $3 for the van ride. Steel-toed boots cost $64. You pay for the right to be allowed to work. 90 days out, $1,046 earned, $3,700 owed, $11 in your pocket, 3 months free, and the only thing you still own outright is that clear plastic bag, which is when a car slows at the curb on a Saturday. Window down, a face from before. Lockett, who ran with Doctre. Heard you were home, he says. New warehouse out by the airport. Same favor as the last time. 800. 4 years ago, the number was 2,500. Now it is 800, and you are hungrier than you were at 19. That is the part nobody prints in the brochure. The price of you goes down. Let me think about it, you say, and God help you. This is the part you will never say out loud. You mean it. Level 5. The callback. You think about it for 3 days. That is the honest version, and this is the honest chapter. $800 is 3 weeks of day labor. It is the court debt's kneecap. It is boots and a bus pass, and 1 month where your mother's envelopes close without surgery. You are hungrier at 23 than you were at 19, and the number is smaller, and both of those facts are the same fact. So you do what Wendell trained into you. You write it down. Left column, $800. Right column, the other costs. A parole violation is the 6 years back, minus time served, plus whatever is new. Call it 4 years. 4 years at the day labor rate is roughly $55,000 of outside wages. There is no line on the page for what your mother's face does at the next arraignment. You leave that line blank. The blank does the arithmetic anyway. Then the smaller math, the colder one. $2,500 at 19, $800 at 23. This market moves in one direction. Sell now and the next offer is $300. And the one after that is a favor you owe. The price of you goes down. The only way to stop a falling price is to leave the exchange. Saturday, the car slides back to the curb. You lean into the window and say, "I'm out." Lockett studies you like a bad invoice, shrugs, pulls off. Refusing costs nothing and pays nothing. The rent does not applaud. Both of those ride home with you. That week is the hardest one, and nobody films it. Wednesday, the van does not pick you up because the list filled at 4:40. Thursday, your stomach eats itself politely through a church lunch. Refusing the wrong money is a payment too. It just posts to an account nobody can see yet. Monday, you are back in the van at 4:50 a.m. The job is a strip mall demolition, and the hauling contractor is a dented flatbed with a name on the door. Boons. Boone is 56, gray beard, an unlit cigar he never smokes. He owns 3 trucks and watches men the way you watch numbers. He watches you all day, not because you are the strongest, because at break you are the only man in the van with a pencil, tallying loads, which truck, what weight, how many trips. You cannot help it anymore. It is how the time goes down easiest. At quitting, he asks for your totals, checks them against his clipboard, and looks at you for one long second. You want a real job? The application is 1 page. The square is there, 1/4 inch, patient. You check it and hand it back, already reaching for your bag, because you have seen this movie. This is the scene where Thursday never calls. Boone reads the box. Then he says the sentence 61 applications never said. What did you learn? You tell him. Labor, materials, overhead, profit. Costs are facts. Write it down. Boone nods slowly, the way men nod at a fair price. Did a bid myself back in the 90s. He taps the square on your form. The paper asks the wrong question. Monday, 6 a.m., 15 an hour. 62 applications. 1 yes. A market only has to clear once. The first paycheck has taxes taken out, and you almost frame it for that reason alone. You pay Ms. Greer's fee on time, in person, in cash. She looks at the pay stub longer than she has ever looked at you. Boons, she says. Good. 1 word. From a woman carrying 94 files, it lands like a paragraph. You cash it and slide $60 into your mother's grocery envelope without a word. She finds it and says nothing either. And that silence is the first thing you have bought in years that appreciates. Level 6. The truck. Boone's Hauling is a school with 3 trucks and tuition is sweat. You learn what a load of debris weighs by the sound the springs make. Dump fees run $85 a ton. And the scale does not negotiate. Diesel eats what the scale leaves. Boone says a truck is a machine that turns diesel into invoices, and both can spill, so mind the machine. Nights you keep books nobody asked for. Composition notebook, golf pencil. Every job Boone runs, you shadow bid, labor, materials, overhead, profit. When your numbers land inside his, you allow yourself 1 gas station coffee. It is possible you learn celebration in prison. It is possible everything is. But the state still holds the leash, $3,700, and no license until it dies. So the debt goes on the wall like a demolition job, and you take it down in swings. $150 a month, then Saturdays at time and a half, then $200. Your mother finds your system on the kitchen table and stops in the doorway. Envelopes, labeled, sorted by ruthlessness. She laughs once quietly, hand over her mouth. You learned it somewhere. 14 months, 0. The clerk stamps a receipt. Reinstatement costs $48 because the state charges you to stop punishing you. Some markets you leave the way you entered, paying. Then the truck. County auction, lot 44. An F-250, the color of weather, 212,000 miles. It starts like a man clearing his throat to settle an argument. You take it for $1,900 cash from an envelope marked truck in block letters, her style believing. Boone circles it, kicks nothing, listens. It'll live, he says. Ugly lives long. Sundays are yours now. Your first job is a landlord with a dead tenant's garage. 30 years of a stranger's life to the dump by Monday. You walk it with the pencil. Labor, 6 hours. Dump, a ton and change. Fuel, overhead, and then the line Wendell calls a moral failing to skip. Profit. You quote $260. The landlord says yes so fast you hear Wendell in your ear. Prices are opinions. Yours are humble. That night you write, invoice 001 in pencil first, then ink. Hauling services rendered, $260, net due on receipt. 25 years old, and it is the first paper in your life carrying your name that is not an apology, a plea, or a condition. Word of it travels the way work travels, sideways. The landlord owns 4 buildings and a brother-in-law. 2 Sundays become every Sunday. You tape a hand-lettered card to the laundromat corkboard, hauling, cleanouts, fair price, and the phone starts ringing with small, ugly jobs the big outfits will not touch. Small, ugly jobs, priced right, are a living. You photocopy invoice 001 at the library for a dime and mail it to a state prison with a note. First one, more coming. Wendell's answer takes 3 weeks and fits on a postcard, thin pencil, all caps. Overhead too low. So is price. Fix both, then smaller. Good. You raise your rates 9%. Nobody blinks. Somewhere, a 66-year-old bookkeeper is laughing at you, and it is the finest review you will ever receive. Level 7. The signature. The LLC costs $125 and one decision, a name. You put down gate 4 hauling. People assume a street address. You let them. It is where you got your start. That is not a lie, and it keeps the door where you can see it. Signing the form takes 11 seconds. You time it. The last signature that fast bought 6 years. This one buys a future, in installments. Then you learn that a felony echoes in rooms it never entered. The first bank declines your business account with a letter thanking you for your interest. The second declines faster. Banks have boxes too. Theirs are upholstered. The credit union on Delmar reads the whole file, and the woman behind the desk slides one paper back. Bring your EIN, she says. Mondays are slow if you want the parking. Insurance for one ugly truck runs $212 a month, which offends you until a transmission grenades on the interstate and you finally understand the product. Insurance is buying back your worst Tuesday in advance. Boone does not compete with you. Boone becomes your first account. Overflow jobs, subcontracted, 20% his. I'd rather rent your truck than lose your pencil, he says. Also, I'm getting old. Don't quote me a price on that. Growth is boring, which nobody tells you. Gross, year 1, $41,000. Year 2, $87,000. A second truck uglier than the first, and your first hire. Reese from the 450 van, 4 arms like dock rope and a square checked on every form in the county. Your application asks 2 questions. Can you lift and will you show up? Reese can. Reese does. Payroll taxes nearly kill you. Wendell's postcards walk you through quarterlies like a man defusing a bomb by mail. Then one Friday, you notice what your hand is doing. 4 paychecks, 4 signatures, real withholding, rent landing in 4 households, because a door you own stays open on purpose. Your signature used to be the cheapest thing in a courtroom. You have spent 6 years buying it back at market rate. By the 3rd hire, you stop pretending it is an accident. Men with records show up on time the way other men show up famous, because every one of them knows the exact price of a second look. Nobody ever gave them one free. You lose 2 to old habits and let them go clean. No speeches. A payroll is not a rescue. It is a promise to the other names on it. The first bank calls back in year 4 offering a line of credit. Congratulations on your growth. You listen all the way through. Then you tell them you already bank where the file gets read. And you wish them a slow Monday. And you allow yourself exactly 1 smile about it. Ms. Greer closes your file 2 years to the day, 11 minutes early. She shakes your hand. 93 to go, she says. And you both laugh, because the joke is the caseload, and the caseload is not funny. That winter, an envelope with a date inside. Wendell's. You drive 4 hours, park where mothers wait for buses, and stand at the gate at 8 a.m. sharp. He comes out at 68 with taped glasses and a clear plastic bag, and studies you like a ledger he kept. You hiring? Estimating desk, you say. Pays better than 30 cents. Everything does, says Wendell. Almost everything. Level 8. The gate. 10 years out, the numbers read like fiction, so you keep them in pencil to stay honest. 11 trucks. You did not plan the number. You just stopped buying when it felt finished. Gate 4. Hauling and demolition. 38 employees, 19 of them with a square checked in a file cabinet somewhere, which means half your payroll is mend the market marked down, and you bought low, and you are not running a charity. You are the only investor in town who reads the second page. You own a warehouse now, bought it at auction, walked the dock the first morning with a coffee, and checked every gate on the building by hand. They latch. You pay a man to make sure they latch. You are aware of the joke. You signed the deed anyway in 11 seconds time. Invoice 001 hangs framed above the estimating desk, where Wendell sits at 74 refusing to retire, terrorizing suppliers, teaching apprentices that costs are facts. The margins have not been wrong twice. Your mother lifted her last stranger 4 years ago. The house is small, brick, paid for, with the washer and dryer she once circled in a catalog and a kitchen table where the envelopes still come out on the first of the month. Some habits are load-bearing. You both leave them where they are. The day you handed her the keys, she checked your math first, sat at that table, and went through the numbers line by line, making sure the house could not hurt you before she let it make her happy. Then she cried into her hands. Those hands lifted strangers for 22 years. Now they were holding one small brass key. Eli finished the accounting degree, the shoebox of report cards preserved in a closet like evidence. He keeps your books now, faster than you and stricter, and the house rule stands. Pencil first, then ink. He audits you like a stranger and hugs you like a brother. And some weeks, those are the same service. Dre came home after 9 years. He drives truck 6. Neither of you says gate 4 out loud. The airport job finally happened, and somebody's 11 seconds went for $300. The market you left kept discounting without you, down to a cell. And the money is real now. 7 figures across the balance sheet, boring and diversified, exactly as prescribed by a man who once ran a tier on soup credit. You do math for fun these days. Honest work still comes up short all over this city, $412 at a time. You know because you hire out of that shortage every single month. First Tuesday of the month, 8 a.m., a gate you know, 2 coffees on the hood. The kid comes out squinting, 23 maybe, all shoulders and no plans, holding his whole life in a clear plastic bag, 40 state dollars dying of fees in his pocket. He sees you and stiffens, because a stranger waiting at this gate has always been a bill. You know the walk, you know the squint, you know the exact weight of $40 a card is already eating. Somebody did this for me once, you say, which is nearly the whole story. Work Monday if you want it, 6 a.m. Boots are on the company. He looks at the coffee, the truck, your face, the fence. What's the application? 1 page. You hand him the clipboard, pencil attached. There's no box on it. He reads it twice, hunting for the trick, because he has met paper before. Then he asks what the catch is, and you give him the only one you have ever charged. Write it down. Every number, every day, even when it's 0. You tap the clipboard, especially when it's 0. He takes the pencil. It takes him 11 seconds to say yes. You know exactly how long that is.